You're 4 days into the blackout when your cousin tries to eat snow for hydration. He remembers it from a movie, thought it was clever. By day 6, he's shivering uncontrollably, lips blue, and you're wrapping him in every blanket you own, praying he'll pull through. Survival myths don't just make you look foolish, they can kill you. Today, we're tearing apart the legends that turn would-be survivors into statistics. In this video, we'll walk through the most dangerous survival myths, why they persist, and what actually works when the world goes dark. Because in a crisis, the stories you believe can be the difference between making it out alive or not making it out at all. In Timeline 12X, they believed eating snow was a quick fix for thirst. The logic seemed sound. Snow is frozen water, right? But desperation makes bad ideas look like genius. Here's the truth. Eating snow drops your core temperature fast. Your body burns precious energy melting it, and you end up more dehydrated than before. The cold shocks your system, triggers hypothermia, and can even cause your throat to swell. Your body is a delicate balance of heat and hydration. When you eat snow, you're forcing it to do double duty, warming the snow and keeping you alive. The result? You lose more water through increased metabolism and shivering than you gain from the snow itself. If you must use snow, melt it first. Use body heat, a fire, or even a black container in the sun. Never eat it raw. Lesson: your body isn't a snow cone machine. Melt before you drink, or risk freezing from the inside out. In Timeline 23B, they thought building a massive signal fire was the fastest way to get rescued. Movies taught them, big flames, big rescue. But here's what Hollywood doesn't show. Uncontrolled fires in the wild spread faster than you can run. Dry grass, wind, and panic are a deadly combination. A signal fire should be small, controlled, and only lit when you're sure it won't start a wildfire. Use green branches to create smoke, not flames. Build it in a cleared area, away from brush, and always have water or dirt ready to smother it. The real rescue comes from visibility, not chaos. Lesson: fire is a tool, not a tantrum. Control it, or it will control you. In Timeline 37D, they believed you could find north with an analog watch. The trick? Point the hour hand at the sun, bisect the angle, and you've got south. Sounds clever until you realize it only works in the northern hemisphere, only with a traditional watch, and only if you know the time. Cloudy day, digital watch, wrong hemisphere, you're lost. Nature doesn't care about your wristwatch hacks. The sun's position changes with the seasons, and your margin for error is huge. If you want to navigate, learn to read the sun's arc, use a compass, or memorize the constellations. Lesson: navigation isn't a party trick. Trust tools, not parlor games. In Timeline 45F, they thought if birds can eat those berries, so can you. But animals have different digestive systems, enzymes, and tolerances. Deer eat plants that would put you in the hospital. Birds snack on berries that are toxic to humans. Take the yew-berry. Birds love them, but for humans, the seeds are deadly. Or the red baneberry, harmless to some wildlife, but a few can kill a child. Your liver isn't a universal filter. Foraging without knowledge is a game of Russian roulette with your organs. If you're desperate, use the universal edibility test. Touch, wait, taste, wait, chew, wait. But it takes hours, and mistakes are fatal. Carry a field guide, or better yet, pack extra food. Lesson: you're not a squirrel. Know your plants, or stick to your rations. In Timeline 59J, they believed sucking out poison from a wound would save a life. The myth: bite, suck, spit, survive. The reality: venom spreads through the bloodstream in seconds. Sucking does nothing but introduce bacteria and waste precious time. For snake bites, the only real treatment is antivenom and immobilization. Keep the bite below heart level, stay calm, and get to a hospital. For insect stings, remove the stinger, wash the area, and monitor for allergic reactions. Your mouth is not a medical device. It's a contamination risk. Lesson: first aid is about slowing, not sucking. Pressure, stillness, and professional help save lives. In Timeline 66M, they thought surviving on lean meat alone was enough. Protein is good, so more must be better, right? Wrong. Rabbit starvation is real. Lean meat without fat leads to protein poisoning. Your body can only process so much protein before ammonia builds up, turning toxic. Rabbits, squirrels, and other small game are low in fat. You'll feel full, but your body will starve for calories and essential nutrients. Symptoms: diarrhea, weakness, confusion, and eventually, death. You need fat for energy, vitamin absorption, and brain function. Survival means balance: nuts, seeds, fish, or fatty cuts from larger animals. Calories matter, but macronutrient balance matters more. Lesson: protein without fat is a slow-motion death. Diversify your diet or deteriorate. In Timeline 81R, they thought caves were the ultimate shelter. Out of the wind, out of the rain, what could go wrong? Plenty. Caves are home to predators, disease-carrying bats, and insects. Poor ventilation means you can suffocate while you sleep. Wet stone sucks heat from your body, making hypothermia a real risk. Unless you can build an insulated barrier and ensure airflow, you're better off with a debris hut, lean-to, or even a tarp. Shelter is about controlling moisture, wind, and heat, not just hiding from the elements. Lesson: caves are nature's traps. Build your own shelter or risk becoming part of the ecosystem. In Timeline 92L, they believed playing dead worked for every bear. The truth: it depends on the species and the situation. Grizzlies sometimes stop attacking if you play dead. Curl up, protect your neck, stay silent. But black bears? They see stillness as an invitation to eat. Brown bears? Context matters. If it's a mother with cubs, play dead. If it's a predatory attack, fight back with everything you have. Universal rules don't exist in predator encounters. Carry bear spray, know the difference, and never assume one strategy fits all. Lesson: know your enemy. One size fits all gets you eaten. In Timeline 104S, they thought following a river would lead to civilization. Sometimes it does. More often, it leads to impassable terrain, waterfalls, or endless swamps. Rivers are highways for animals and predators, not always for people. You burn calories fighting through brush, risk injury on slippery rocks, and can end up more lost than before. Water is a resource, not a roadmap. Use it for hydration, but navigate by terrain, elevation, and visibility. Lesson: rivers flow to gravity, not rescue. Stay high, stay visible, and use water wisely. In Timeline 117Q, they believed you could start a fire with eyeglasses. The myth: sunlight through a lens equals instant flame. The reality: most eyeglasses aren't strong enough to focus sunlight to ignition temperature. Plastic lenses, coatings, and cloudy weather make it almost impossible. Even with a perfect lens, you need dry tinder, patience, and luck. Fire is non-negotiable in survival. Carry a lighter, waterproof matches, or a ferro rod. Don't gamble your life on MacGyver tricks. Lesson: possible isn't practical. Bring real fire starters, or freeze. In Timeline 128V, they believed moss was nature's compass. The story: moss grows on the north side of trees. The truth: moss grows where it's damp, shaded, and protected from wind. In dense forests, it covers entire trunks. In deserts, it doesn't grow at all. Navigation by folklore gets you lost. The sun rises in the east, sets in the west. The North Star is a constant. Moss is just a plant chasing moisture. Lesson: botany isn't geography. Learn real navigation, or wander in circles. In Timeline 139Z, they believed a shot of whiskey would warm them in the cold. The sensation is real. Alcohol dilates blood vessels, bringing warm blood to the skin. But that warmth is a lie. You lose core heat faster, increasing your risk of hypothermia. Alcohol impairs judgment, coordination, and shivering, the body's natural defense against cold. In survival, clear thinking and steady hands matter more than a fleeting sense of warmth. Lesson: alcohol is a liability, not a lifeline. Stay sober, stay alive. In Timeline 150T, they believed gasoline was the ultimate fire starter. The logic: more fuel, bigger fire, faster warmth. But the reality: gasoline vaporizes quickly, creating an invisible cloud that can ignite explosively. One spark and you're engulfed in a fireball. Burns, nerve damage, and third-degree injuries happen in seconds. Fire needs oxygen, fuel, and heat in the right balance. Use dry tinder, build a structure, and respect the chemistry. Gasoline is for engines, not campfires. Lesson: chemistry doesn't care about your hurry. Use patience, not accelerants. In timeline 161Y, they believed you could start a fire with a lens carved from ice. Technically possible, but only with perfect conditions: clear ice, bright sun, dry tinder, and steady hands. In reality, ice is cloudy, melts quickly, and the sun isn't always out. Fire is essential. Don't rely on physics experiments. Carry multiple ignition sources and practice in all conditions. Lesson: survival isn't a science fair. Prepare or perish. In timeline 172Y, they believed survival rules were one-size-fits-all. The rule of threes: 3 minutes without air, 3 hours without shelter, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. These are averages.
A child in the cold might last 30 minutes, not 3 hours. In the desert, you can dehydrate in a single day. Survival is context-dependent. Myths treat it as universal. Every myth you believe is a liability. Every fact you verify is a margin of safety. Lesson: survival is situational. Adapt or become a cautionary tale. Why do these myths persist? Because stories are memorable, and fear short-circuits logic. When the grid fails, your brain defaults to what you've heard, not what you've tested. Cognitive biases make simple answers attractive. The Dunning-Kruger effect convinces the least prepared that they're experts. Stress floods your system with cortisol, shutting down critical thinking. You grab the first solution that sounds confident, even if it's deadly. The human brain evolved for pattern recognition, not accuracy. That's why you see faces in clouds and trust confident misinformation over uncertain truth. Survival myths spread because they're simple, actionable, and feel empowering. Reality is complex, conditional, and often counterintuitive.